What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports Hunt Show. Today is May 3rd, 2021. In this video, I'm live on YouTube like every single video I do. And this video, I'm going to be kind of recapping the NFL draft. Friday afternoon, I kind of recapped round one of the NFL draft. So I'm not going to do round one since I already kind of did it. But I want to kind of talk about some big picks. Maybe in the later rounds, I like awfully a bit. Some picks I really like. And tomorrow also as well, Tuesday, probably around 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, I'll be joined by Griffin from the YWC Football Talk podcast. We're also going to be kind of recapping the NFL draft, talking about some, quarterback picks, especially, Matt Jones being selected by the Patriots because, that's his Griffin's team is the Patriots. Tomorrow also will be a debut of a new show called 30-Minute Drill with my friend Braden. We're talking a little bit of sports and just literally so much random stuff. I mean, recess football, what the Bengals did in the draft. It's so many different things. It's really, really entertaining. Make sure you go check that out. The premiere episode of that will be tomorrow, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So let's go ahead and get started with this NFL draft recap. So like I said, I already kind of did round one. So as we go to round two here, the Jaguars, they take Tyson Campbell, the corner from Georgia. I like that pick, but honestly, I was really surprised they did not take Trevon Mowbray because I feel like safety was a bigger need. And Trevon Mowbray, in my opinion, was arguably the best player available. Heading into round two, Jets take Elijah Moore. That's great for Zach Wilson. The Broncos actually trade up and get Javonte Williams, the running back of North Carolina. Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon, Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, Tim Patrick. They just have so many great weapons on offense. I'm not going to go through every single pick, kind of just the main ones. The Patriots actually traded up with the Bengals and took Christian Barmore. That is a fantastic pick. That's best player available, and that's basically, it seems like, in my opinion, the Patriot way, taking best player available. The Bears take offensive tackle Tevin Jenkins. That's a great value pick and a great guy to protect your future franchise quarterback in Justin Fields. The Dolphins take Liam Eckenberg in the second round to give Tua Tagovailoa more time to throw the ball. The Raiders take Trevon Mowbray. They took a reach in round one, taking Leatherwood, but here they get an absolute steal in Mowbray. Despite being the best player at his position, Mowbray was extremely underrated. Cowboys take Kentucky corner Kelvin Joseph. That's a major reach, in my opinion. He has lots of character issues. Not make much sense at all to get him. I really thought I should have took Asante Samuel Jr. Jaguars get protection with Walker Little. The Bengals take Jackson Carman, offensive tackle of Clemson. That's whole for a whole other video for me to basically just rant about that pick. Chargers get a steal in Asante Samuel Jr. Rondale Moore goes to the Cardinals. And there was reports the Cardinals would maybe trade up in the first round and get a wide receiver. They don't trade up, but they still get a really nice receiver in Rondale Moore in the second. Giants get one of the best steals of the draft in Azeez Ojulari at the 50th pick. Washington selects Samuel Cosmi from Texas. These next couple picks are really steals. Cosmi was a good pick. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, the Browns get him. That's a A-plus pick, phenomenal pick there. The Titans select Dylan Redens from North Dakota State. That's an A-plus pick. The Steelers get Pat Freiermuth, the tight end from Penn State. He drops to the 55th pick overall. The Steelers really need a tight end because Vance Donald retired. A fantastic pick there. The Seattle Seahawks, they take Dwayne Eskridge in the second round. Tutu Atwell, 5'9", 149. Guy goes to the Rams. Harris Marshall Jr., definitely one of my favorite picks of the draft, goes to the Panthers to reunite with Joe Brady. Carlos Basham, the Bills get more edge picks there early on. Round one, they take edge from Miami, and here they take Basham. Second round, the Packers take center from Ohio State, Josh Myers. I know lots of people do not like this pick. I absolutely love it. Corey Lindsey lost him in the free agency to the Chargers, so you could definitely use a new center. Josh Myers was the best center available. I like that pick a lot there by the Packers, but it was the fact that they did not take a wide receiver in round one with Terrace Marshall Jr. being there and Elijah Moore, just making no sense to me. To finish off round two, the Buccaneers actually take Kyle Trask from Florida. I love that pick so much. I think Trask could do great things with Tampa Bay. because with the weapons they have, they're not gonna need him to throw for like 400 or 500 yards. They just need him to play turnover-free football. I mean, who knows? As long as Brady's longevity is, I mean, Trask might not even get to play much, but I think Trask could learn so many things from Tom Brady, and maybe be his successor, kind of like Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes. Start of round 3, the Jaguars take Cisco from Syracuse, the safety. He's one of my favorite safeties in the draft. I thought this was a very good pick here with the Jaguars. The Vikings kind of shock some people and take Kellen Mond. Texans take Stanford quarterback Davis Mills, and which basically means, I mean, there's no chance Watson will ever play a snap with the Texans again. Atlanta Falcons take Jalen Mayfield, the offensive tackle from Michigan. That's a great value pick. Speaking of value picks, the Bengals get Joseph Osai, edge rusher from Texas at 69. I think that's a absolute steal there for Cincinnati. 70th overall, the Panthers get another steal. I mean, in the second round, they got Terrace Marshall Jr. In the third round here. They get Brady Christensen, the offense tackle from BYU. Both those picks are absolutely phenomenal. The Lions go more defensive tackles. I mean, they took a defensive tackle in the second round, and here they take Ali McNeil from NC State. Paulson Adebo gets picked up by the Saints. Chad Surratt goes to the Vikings. I like that pick a lot. I feel like Chad Surratt will be great under Mike Zimmer's defense. Amari Rodgers, the wide receiver from Clemson, actually gets picked up by the Packers. So in the third round, the Packers finally take a wide receiver. I was actually kind of surprised it was not Amon St. Brown, because his brother actually plays for Green Bay. I thought it made quite a bit of sense if that were to happen. The Vikings get another phenomenal pick here in round 3. But like I said, they got Chad Surratt in their first third-round pick. With their other third-round pick, they select Wyatt Davis, the guard from Ohio State. That is an A-plus pick. Again, Wyatt Davis at 86. It's phenomenal. In my 3-round mock drafts, I often had the Vikings get either Ben Cleveland or Wyatt Davis in round 3. The fact that they got him there is absolutely phenomenal. Trey Sermon kind of goes early to the San Francisco 49ers at 88. Speaking of another steal, I was so mad about this pick, but I absolutely love it. This is definitely one of my favorite picks of this draft. Definitely, I would say top 10 favorite picks of the draft. The Minnesota Vikings have another third-round pick, and they select Patrick Jones, the edge rusher from Pittsburgh. If you've seen my videos before, you realize how much I like Patrick Jones. Patrick Jones is my favorite edge rusher in the class. I cannot wait to see what he does with Mike Zimmer's defense in Minnesota. I think he's going to do absolutely phenomenal. There's some other steals here. Maybe a reach, I don't know, but the Browns take Anthony Schwartz, arguably the fastest guy in the draft in the third round. The Bills get more protection with Josh Allen, taking Spencer Brown from Northern Iowa. The Ravens get Ben Cleveland, that is still the guard from Georgia University. Quinn Merritt, they got the center from Wisconsin, Whitewater, goes to the Broncos at 98 overall. That's a steal. I don't think a single player hopes his draft stock more in the Senior Bowl than Quinn Merritt. That's a really good pick there. Speaking of really good picks, at 101, it seemed like the Lions really went defensive heavy in this draft. They got Afitu Melifonwu, the corner from Syracuse, at 101. That's a really, really nice pick. The 49ers selected Ambry Thomas, the cornerback from Michigan. Possible Richard Sherman replacement, because it's very unlikely he re-signs with San Francisco. To finish off round 3, this is one of my favorite picks of this mock draft. Not mock draft, but just draft. The Denver Broncos, the Baron Browning, the linebacker from Ohio State. You go into the draft, in my opinion, the Broncos' biggest need was linebacker, and they get one of the best linebackers there at the end of the third round. That's a steal by Denver. As you go to 4, 5, 6, and 7, there's so many steals. One in particular, just to start off round 4, the Jaguars select J2 Feely, the defensive tackle from USC. Defensive tackle was their biggest need heading into the draft, and they wait till the 4th round and are still able to select a very nice defensive tackle in J2 Feely. The Jets take Michael Carter, the running back from North Carolina. That's a phenomenal pick. I mean, you drafted Zach Wilson, Elijah Vera Tucker, Elijah Moore, Michael Carter. They're giving Zach Wilson a ton of weapons, something they did not do at all with Sam Darnold. The Titans reach, in my opinion, a lot and take Louisville wide receiver Des Fitzpatrick. Des Fitzpatrick helped his draft stock at the Senior Bowl, but I definitely think that was not enough to help him go in the 4th round. Following that pick, the Cleveland Browns select James Hudson, the offensive tackle from Cincinnati. He also helped his draft stock a lot at the Senior Bowl, and that's a great pick by the Cleveland Browns. Another pick right after that, Cameron Sample, the defensive end from Tulane, was actually the Senior Bowl defensive MVP. He goes to the Bengals at 111. 112. The Lions get a steal and getting Amon-Ra St. Brown, USC wide receiver, at 112 in the 4th round. That's a phenomenal pick there by Detroit. Whoever your quarterback is, getting him some weapons. 115, the Dallas Cowboys select linebacker from LSU, Jabril Cox. I love that pick. I know in round 1 I took Michael Parsons. Here they take Jabril Cox, and it was reported by Brett Report earlier today that they were not give Van Der Esch his 5th-year option. Ellerson Smith from Northern Iowa. They actually have 2 early picks from Northern Iowa with the New York Giants here in the 4th. Chris Rumph goes to the Chargers at 118. I like him a lot, but I think that was a little bit early. Another edge rusher, Jordan Smith, I like quite a bit from UAB, gets picked up by the Jaguars. Chuba Hubbard goes to the Panthers. You lose Mike Davis to the Falcons, so you replace him with Hubbard. I like that pick quite a bit. Another steal, in the 3rd round, the Ravens got an absolute steal in getting Ben Cleveland. Followed by the 4th round, they select Tylan Wallace, the wide receiver from Oklahoma State, Ua Bateman, and Tylan Wallace. The Ravens are still not going to be that team who passes the ton, but Lamar Jackson, my weapons, is really nice to have. Following that pick, another steal, the Cleveland Browns got Tommy Togiai, the defensive tackle from Ohio State. They really need defense tackle, and they went to the 4th round, get one of the better ones. They lost Larry Ogunjobi to the Cincinnati Bengals in free agency. I like that pick a lot. Ian Book goes 133 to the Saints. That's awfully a surprising pick. I would not have Ian Book in my top probably 5 or 6 rounds. As we finishing up round 4, as we go to round 5 here, there's also some great steals. To start off, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Ohio State tight end Luke Farrell. Not surprised the Jaguars select some Ohio State guys. I really thought they were actually going to take some more. But Urban Meyer's connection with the Buckeyes. Brevin Jordan goes to the Texans at 147. That's the absolute steal there. 149 overall. The Bengals take Florida kicker Evan McPherson. Being a Bengal fan, I'm not mad about the pick. I'm mad about where the pick happened. The Bengals had 2 6th-round picks, and I truly believe McPherson was going to be there with one of their 6th-round picks. And there's just so many better players available, like Jalen Twyman, Marvin Wilson, Tony Fields, Devion Nixon. There's just a ton of guys better available. I really wish the Bengals would have went best player available, and then they still 100%, in my opinion, could have got Evan McPherson in round 6. As we continue here, the Browns got an absolute another steal in this mock draft, getting Tony Fields, draft, and getting Tony Fields, the linebacker from West Virginia. They got Tommy Togiai in round 4. They got Tony Fields in round 5. They got Jeremiah Wasu-Koroa in round 2. In my opinion, the Browns, they hosted this thing in Cleveland, and they absolutely stole the show. The Browns, in my opinion, probably had the best draft. Every single pick was just really, really great by Cleveland. As we continue here, Devion Nixon gets picked up 158 with the Panthers. The Panthers had a sneaky good draft. I know they reached and got J.C. Horn. That was a very questionable pick, in my opinion. But aside from that, the rest of their picks are pretty much just spot on. Shaun Wade, the corner/safety from Ohio State, gets picked up by the Ravens at 160. He really should have came out last year because he was projected to be a 1st or 2nd round pick. Now he gets picked at 160 in the 5th round. As we continue here, the Browns get another really nice pick, and Richard LeCount, the safety from Georgia, getting more safety depth. I know that it's not a pressing need because they signed a top-tier safety in free agency, but they did a smart thing and did best player available, and that's really what they did. In my opinion, it seemed like every single pick. As we continue here in round 6, the New York Jets select Hamsah Nasruddin, the safety from Florida State. I like that quite a bit. I think that was a really good steal by the Jets. They had They also had one of the best drafts in the NFL. I really think the Jets and the Browns probably had the best drafts in the AFC. The Bengals take Trey Hill, the center from Georgia. He can play center and guard. So, if somebody goes down, he can maybe come in and play some decent snaps. I mentioned the Carolina Panthers had some phenomenal picks. They also get another phenomenal pick here, getting Alabama guard Deontay Brown. The reason he fell so much, a lot of it has to do, in my opinion, with his size. He's 6'4", 350. Being that size, he is very limited in his athleticism. But still getting Deontay Brown here in round 6, I think, you got to roll the dice here in this one. Doesn't work out fine, but I think it will, and I think it has potential to be one of the better steals of the draft. The 49ers select Louisiana running back Elijah Mitchell. I like this pick so much. Elijah Mitchell, Brendan Knox, and Marshall, and Javion Hawkins, the running back from Louisville, my 3 favorite late-round running backs. I also like Jarrett Patterson from Buffalo quite a bit. But Mitchell here at 194 is a steal for San Francisco. The Bengals take a running back with Chris Evans, 202 overall. To me, this was not a pick I was really expecting or I really wanted. Like I said, I was really kind of hoping one of those 3 running backs, but we'll see what Chris Evans does. 203, the Bills take Marquez Stevenson, the wide receiver from Houston. I love this fit. It's a great value. Giving Josh Allen some more weapons. As we continue here, the Browns got another nice pick in Demetric Felton, the wide receiver / running back from UCLA. He's a speedster. It's a great pick. The Steelers get a steal with 216 overall, and they select Miami edge rusher Quincy Roche. Quincy Roche should not have fallen this far, and the Steelers, of course, take advantage of Roche dropping and get a A+ pick here, in my opinion. The Colts actually take Sam Ehlinger, the quarterback of Texas. This was kind of an intriguing pick to me. They actually still have Jacob Eason, so it really did not make much sense for Ehlinger to get picked up here by the Colts. Daz Newsome, the wide receiver from UNC, gets picked up by the Bears to give Justin Fields some more weapons. Trey Smith, an absolute steal, goes 226 to the Kansas City Chiefs. He had some blood clot issues several years ago, but I really think, I think you got to take a chance on him, and that's exactly what the Chiefs did. I think he has potential to be really good in the NFL. Reminds me a lot of Maurice Hurst several years ago, being drafted by the Raiders in the 4th round. He had some serious heart issues, and that is why he fell so much. He fell to the 4th round. If it was not for those heart issues, he would have actually ended up more than likely being a first-round pick, and that's kind of a similar situation with Trey Smith here going to the Chiefs at 226. To start off the 7th round, the Indianapolis Colts select Mike Strachan, the wide receiver from Charleston, West Virginia. That's only about half an hour away from here, so he's kind of a local guy. It's really cool to see him being drafted. The Bengals select Wyatt Hubert, the edge rusher from Kansas State. To me, this is not really a bad pick. You watch his games. He is a absolutely high-motor guy. He's going to give you 100% every single play. With the fact, there are so many great guys here. I really, it's not a bad pick. I just think there was better players available. Kerry Vincent Jr., the corner from LSU, goes to the Broncos. It took Strachan in the 1st to get some more depth here, and 7th getting Vincent Jr. Trey Norwood, the corner from Oklahoma, goes to Steelers. I like that pick a lot. I think that gives you some more cornerback depth. The Washington football team selects Shaka Toney, the edge rusher from Penn State, in the 7th. I don't know how Shaka Toney fell this far, but Shaka Toney, Chase Young, Deron Payne, Montez Sweat, they have a phenomenal young defensive line who's going to wreak havoc on the NFL for a very long time. Let's see here. The Steelers actually select a punter with their 254th pick overall, Presley Harvin III from Georgia Tech. Being a Bengals fan, I thought this pick was really, really funny. Dylan Moses was available. I thought for sure they're going to take Dylan Moses. They need linebacker, and they take a freaking punter. I know I can't really say much because the Bengals drafted the kicker in the 5th round with so many great players available, but it was pretty funny to see the Steelers take a punter in round 7. Kind of finishing up here, the Green Bay Packers select Mississippi State running back Kylan Hill with 256. I love this pick so much. I know they extended Aaron Jones to a 4-year contract, and they still have A.J. Dillon, their rookie running back from last season from Boston College. Kylan Hill is just too good of a player to not be drafted this late. I think it was great for the Packers to take advantage of best player available. That's exactly what to do. A-plus pick there to me for the Green Bay Packers. The last pick of the draft is actually the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 259. They select Grant Stroud, the linebacker from Houston. We've seen some of my mock draft videos before. I was really high on Stroud in the later rounds. I thought he was a great option for many teams. And he is Mr. Relevant to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is kind of my draft recap. Some of the teams who I thought won the draft. I mentioned the Browns. I think the Browns have to be in consideration. I mean, they got Greg Newsome, Elijah Corolla, Tommy Togaya, James Hudson, so many great players. Tony Fields, the linebacker from West Virginia. I also like the Vikings quite a bit. In round 1, they took Christian Darrisaw. They did not have a second-round pick. The fact that the Vikings did not have a second-round pick and they still arguably had the best draft really proves how good they had it there. I mean, they took Wyatt Davis-Cigar from Ohio State. That's an absolute steal. That took Patrick Jones, my favorite edge rusher in the draft, in round 3. That's an absolute steal. I mean, it took some other great players as well. Another player, Chad Surratt, also the linebacker from UNC. They took some phenomenal defensive players. And in the 6th round, they took Jalen Twyman from Pittsburgh, one of my favorite defensive tackles. I feel that this Minnesota Vikings defense is going to be much improved this season. And kind of going back to what I said in my mock drafts, expect the Vikings to go defensive heavy because Mike Zimmer will absolutely not let this defense be this bad again. So the Ravens also had a pretty nice draft. The teams who I did not think the Jets as well. They had a great draft. I mean, Zach Wilson, Elijah Vera Tucker, Elijah Moore, Michael Carter. They had some great picks in New York. Teams who I did not think had a great draft were the Seattle Seahawks. I could be wrong, but I believe the Seattle Seahawks only actually had one selection in this entire mock draft. And with their pick, they selected Western Michigan wide receiver Dwayne Eskridge. It's not a bad pick. I think it's a good value pick. But for me, it's kind of the fact that, Russell Wilson said he wanted protection. And, I mean, there's still some decent offensive linemen available, like James Hudson from Cincinnati University. I do think that would have been probably a reach. But, Pete Carroll in Seattle is known to trade back. I really thought they were going to trade back a lot. Also Jalen Mayfield, the offensive tackle from Michigan, was available with the Seattle Seahawks pick. I thought maybe the Seattle Seahawks would take Mayfield. Obviously, they don't end up taking Mayfield. But I just really feel like the Seattle Seahawks, I would say the Pittsburgh Steelers, some of the teams who had the worst drafts. But overall, this draft was so much fun to watch. I really feel like this was really one of the most insane drafts we've seen in quite some time. It's going to be really interesting to see how some of these teams, play, how much some of these, late round guys, if they end up making the team. So, like I said, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I have my new show, 30-minute drill with my friend Braden. We just literally talk about random stuff and mix a little sports in there as well. It's really entertaining. We talk about the Bengals second-round pick, how mad we are about that pick, recess football. We have a ton of things coming up with that thing. We have, crazy vacations we talk about. Braden falling asleep in the Capitol building. Just really weird stuff. So make sure you go check that out. And like I said, tomorrow around 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, I'll be joined by Griffin on the YWC Football Talk podcast to kind of talk about more about the draft, because I'm sure, he's really interested in that Matt Jones pick at 15. So it's kind of my episode. It kind of about does it for today's video. If you can like this video and subscribe to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you next time on the Sports 200 Show.